Good morning, everybody, and welcome to my greenhouse. Seems like everything is growing fine, nothing has died yet. And we all know how that goes when you start to garden or start to homestead. Anyways, the thought for today is the alcoholic and the dreaded higher power, or finding the higher power. And those of us many of us have a problem with finding a higher power because, for many different reasons, we are either rebellious and don't want to be told what to do. We don't like the fairy tale aspect. We don't like the hypocrisy we have seen. We often rebel because we do what we want to do and we remember our parents or grandparents or somebody somewhere didn't like the path we were going down, and we were going to do what we wanted to do at the cost of no matter who it hurt. And what we don't understand about being afraid of or angry or upset, however, whatever emotion you're feeling about being rebellious against a higher power, for the addict, for the alcoholic, for the person that is their life has become unmanageable and they have become powerless in their life. You have become powerless and your life has become unmanageable because of serving a higher power. What we don't realize is being a human being, being in the flesh, and a lot of people don't like hearing this, but we are where we're at because of failures because of the flesh. The gift of desperation pushes you to discover you, yourself, your life, and what's around you. And we have been serving a higher power. If you don't serve a higher power that that protects you or keeps you in line or makes you a better person, you're going to serve some kind of higher power. That higher power can be alcohol, because alcohol makes us powerless. That higher power can be anger. That higher power, we're surrounded by higher powers all day, every day, and we submit to higher powers all day long, every day. And I only mention this because we get rebellious against only one higher power, and it's the higher power that can put us on higher ground, a higher power that can heal us, a higher power that we don't consider is as fun, but we're not going to have the suffering that we have put ourselves through. When we turn on the radio and we let those frequencies fill our mind, that is a higher power. And let me explain what I mean by this higher power. All day, every day, we are filled with things bigger than us. The TV is bigger than us. Hollywood is bigger than us. Music and the music artists are bigger than us. Our job is bigger than us. Sometimes our anger and our emotion is bigger than us. And we're constantly being led around by these things. We'll watch something on the news and we must go that direction. We watch things with television, TV, and without a doubt, many of us confuse this with reality. We constantly listen to music that has many emotions that is constantly being turned on. Social media must always have our attention. All these things are always pulling different things out of us because we are the product. Things are constantly consuming us. We're constantly consuming things. This is bigger than us. We never can turn off our emotions. So we're listening to violent music. And there's a time and a place for that. Please understand, I'm not trying to put any of this stuff down. I'm just, it's like alcoholism. You can't just have one drink. It's okay to watch a movie, but 5, 6 movies later, when you don't know who you are anymore, and many of you may not understand what I'm talking about with that because this is something that takes time. But just hear me out. But in the morning, we check our social media account. When we're done with our social media account, we go and we turn on the radio and we turn on music and we have commercials. We have emotions with those songs. We must get our adrenaline going with the music, or some kind of emotional response to music. When we're done with that, then we turn on our internet again, our phone, and on our break, whatever, and we're watching stuff that's either entertaining us or filling us with emotion. We're watching violent movies, listening to violent music, in a rage, in anger all the time, or desperate, or we have anxiety, and we're constantly filling our anxiety with different things on social media or maybe things we watch. And then at the end of the day or throughout the day, we are filling ourselves with a chemical or a narcotic. So our mind is never available to be free and be clear and be empty, to be able to do what it's meant to do, because we are constantly bombarded. I'm going to talk in my weird way talk with frequencies that are constantly bombarding our mind. And if you are in a place in your life right now with the gift of desperation because nothing is working out, everything is falling apart, it's because we keep serving these higher powers. And this is why when you start to want to clean up your life or beat an addiction, when you give your life over to a higher power, you're now taking charge of what your higher powers are, and you're starting to focus more on a positive aspect of the higher powers. And we have a skewed vision of God because we're trying to understand God from someone that was misinterpreting the Bible, and then we're misinterpreting the Bible. And you can hear it every day when people talk. You can hear it every day when people talk. What they say the Bible is, they haven't read it. I'm not here to be preachy about the Bible. I'm here to give you an idea of how to beat addictions, how to get out of the mess you're in, how to get your head back together. And at some time in our life, we were rebellious against morals. And morals is a key to a lock in our mind to put borders and boundaries, because if you haven't given the gift of desperation, you know when you've allowed too many things in your life, you have problems now. You know if you've had too much anger, too much promiscuity, too many narcotics, too much alcohol, too many things that drove you to anger, you go back and you look on things you should have done different. And this is where morals come in. This is where, I don't really want to refer to AA because it is an anonymous club, but on step one, admit you're powerless over alcohol and that your life has become unmanageable. And some of you watching this maybe have never had alcohol, but you look at your life and you're like, how could I have never done drugs or have drank? And in my home and my life is almost no different than a meth addict's home and life, because your life has become unmanageable because of serving other things constantly. Part of serving what I would say you would call a higher power, because I'm not trying to preach Jesus or preach God, but you have to turn towards something that's a little bit more gentler, that has direction. One thing is we think God is an authoritarian, that if you do wrong, you're going to go to hell. We're putting ourselves in hell. If you look at the problems we're creating, we're doing that to ourselves. This is a lie that God is putting us in hell. He brought his son to not turn a bad person into a good person, but to turn a dead man into a living man. That's what morals really were, even from the beginning, to keep things from being dead, to keep things from being corrupt, to make things living, to make things flourish. Part of that higher power, the new higher power you find, it could be stopping and taking time to understand and see and pay attention to the dog that is happy to see you. Making time for the child that you are disappointing right now. Making time for the beautiful wife or amazing husband that you're kind of destroying their life, to give them a really good day today. That is this higher power. We're distracted by media constantly. We don't have time to pet the dog. We don't have time to play with our children. Our mind is carrying weights behind us. We're looking down as we walk, constantly frustrated, fighting against the world. And what are we winning and what are we fighting against at the end of the day? This is why it's hard for the alcoholic to find the higher power to help them beat their addiction. And I just don't want to talk to alcoholics because alcoholism is a symptom of the problem. That tick in your mind that your house is messy, you can't keep a relationship. We are lost because we have abandoned the ultimate higher power. We have birds chirping. We have little animals that enjoy their life. And man is never satisfied. We must have a new song, a new form of entertainment, a new sexy Instagram model to wow us. And like I said earlier, at the end of all that, we fill ourselves up with sugars, alcohol. We even defend marijuana. Anything that alters where you're at is taking you away from yourself. Constantly looking at our will, we must be in control, yet nothing around us, we don't control anything around us. Learning to ride, being like a surfer, learning to ride the waves, learning how to go with the waves. Being a jiu-jitsu artist, learning how to flow with your opponent. This is what makes these arts successful. Drawing an art, learning to flow. Because you learn that from the higher power. When we get stiff and angry and upset, we are pouring poisons in our body. Poison after poison after poison. This is why we learn to submit to a real higher power, because if you don't serve a higher power, and I want to say if you don't serve God, you're going to serve something, because you're a human being, you're made of the flesh, you're going to die. There's nothing special about you that you're going to change the world and live for thousands of years. I sometimes think we get in our head and we get in chaos because there's a natural thing in us human beings that we gotta go somewhere, we gotta be somewhere, we gotta make something happen. We have a background noise of somewhere we're going, something we're doing, something we're going to achieve. That's why it takes years to gain wisdom. That's why you see many older people get a little more gentle as they get older, because we realize you start to lose things in life. You start to lose many things in life and you realize you're not going anywhere. Even if you've been somewhere, you're not going anywhere. I could ramble on all day and I promise to make a video short. But this video truly is for anybody. But I wanted to dedicate this video to the addict or the alcoholic or the person full of rage or despair and depression that is resistant to a higher power. That I got bad news for you. You already are submitting to higher powers. You already are. Some of you know what I'm talking about. So exhausted every day. Got to get up and go. 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 This is why we drink. This is why we do things we probably shouldn't be doing. Our life is miserable because we're serving higher powers we should not be serving. We're serving our own minds and our own thoughts that deceive us. The devil has keys to the bottomless pit. That key to the bottomless pit is the imagination. It is the mind. The mind is endless. The mind never stops. The mind never quits creating. He was given keys to the bottomless pit. That's why we have to be careful what arises in our mind and our thoughts. Anyways, how do you find the higher power? Part of the higher power is just admitting and submitting to where you're at in life and looking at it and understanding that the things you have been serving are not getting you where you need to be. And where do you need to be? Peace, a peaceful mind, full of serenity, flexible. The mind is full of bliss in the kingdom of God. And when I say kingdom of God, that offends people because here we go, religious and holy. Again, your interpretation. Kingdom of God is a child smiling. Kingdom of God is a home that is safe, warm, protected. Kingdom of God is a happy dog that's not being beaten, abused, skinned, laying in shit. That is hell. Kingdom of God is being able to communicate with the birds that land on the ground and they're entertaining you for whatever reason. Kingdom of God is a mother relieved that she has her son back, that she has her daughter back. Kingdom of God is a father able to see his daughter get off the streets and beat the addiction and be able to come back to a warm home. Kingdom of God is you're homeless, you're in hell, but you're able to make a warm, safe, quiet, serene home. So you don't necessarily have to pray. You don't necessarily have to give yourself over to Jesus Christ. You don't necessarily have to become anything. All you have to do is start to walk toward, and you know what I'm talking about, the more gentle aspect of life. Easy does it. I don't have to be ahead of myself right now. I don't have to rush ahead of myself. I will tell you something about myself right now. I no longer live my life where I'm put in a situation where my mind has to be ahead of itself and gets frazzled. Anything that pulls me that direction, forget about it. It can go to hell. I don't want anything to do with it. Nothing is worth destroying your serenity, your peace, and your sanity. Anyways, that is it for the thought today. I hope you take something with you, and I hope it helps change your life. Remember, work, work, work. You can't just watch this and be like, that's a good idea, and then go back. Remember, progress, not perfection. It's okay that you get angry tomorrow. Maybe turn down the radio. Maybe skip out on Netflix and go for a jog. Progress, not perfection. Easy does it. You do not change everything tomorrow. It's too much. It's too much. You cannot handle that. Your flesh. Anyways, if you found value in this, please send this to somebody that is desperate and needs to hear this. Please like and subscribe, as I have one hell of a hard time on social media because I'm not exposing my breasts. I'm not talking about political issues. I'm not very entertaining. I'm here to give people thoughts. Through my suffering, I'm hoping that I can help those that suffer. So we all need each other. I would love for us to build a community. So please like and subscribe and share. And until then, take a deep breath. Easy does it. Pull back and calm down. It's going to be okay.